So it's official. Bill Belichick is done in New England. There will be a press conference at 12 o'clock with Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft. But Belichick will leave New England Patriots 15 wins shy of breaking the Don Shula NFL record of 347 wins as head coach. I think it's pretty clear now at this moment in time. We're going to see Mike Vrabel become the head coach of the New England Patriots, which makes perfect sense because, they love him there in New England. He was an amazing linebacker for them, legendary linebacker for them. So now they're going to move on from Bill Belichick and go toward Mike Vrabel. We'll see how that ends up working out for them. But now what that means is that Bill Belichick will become a coach that anyone can hire. And right now we have 7 teams that have coaching vacancies after firing their head coach. And he really could go anywhere, if we're being honest here. Now, out of those 7 teams that, vacancy-wise, think about who would be the best option. Raiders are interesting. I don't think he's not going to the Raiders. They're technically owned a little bit by Tom Brady, so that would be interesting. I don't think he's going to the Panthers. I wouldn't say, wherever he goes, he's going to want to go somewhere where he has an opportunity to either already have a great quarterback or to draft the guy he wants, right? I think that's really what it's going to come down to. He wants to have the control of who they get moving forward. And again, like I said, the Falcons, you got Desmond Ridder, who's young. I don't really think he's the answer, but they finished well enough this year that they're not going to have a top 5 draft pick, which is the negative there. Panthers not an option, I don't think. The Saints, not Saints, my bad. I meant to say the Saints could be an option eventually if they get rid of Derek Allen. But for right now, it's not an option. Seahawks is interesting. Seattle is very interesting because of the fact that they could potentially, they have a team right now, I feel like, that could be a playoff team. Geno Smith isn't the future, but they could draft a new quarterback, maybe trade up in the draft and get one. But yeah, so the Seahawks does interest me a little bit. So yeah, Carolina Panthers, which again, like I said, not going to happen. Tennessee Titans. Problem is, Derrick Henry might leave that team, and then you have to kind of bank on the fact that is Will Levis your guy quarterback moving forward, because they just drafted him in the 2nd round last year. They drafted Malik Willis. Sorry. They drafted Malik Willis. I think he was a 3rd round pick back in 22. They draft, obviously, Levis in 23 in the 2nd round. They still have Tannehill on the roster, which I think will eventually be, they move on from him. But again, like I said, out of all the options, I don't think Tennessee is a good option. The Raiders, they do have Devontae Adams. Potentially they lose him, but currently they have a head coach who is filling in because they found Mike McDaniels, who's actually, the players love him. So that's going to be a tough, pill to swallow, bringing a new coach in. Not only bringing a new coach in, bringing in Bill Belichick, who's a great coach, but he's very much of you play by his rules and you do exactly what he wants. So that's going to be a tough pill to swallow. Chargers, I think Chargers is the best option in all honesty because of the fact they have Justin Herbert. They probably bring back Austin Eckler, figure something out with Keenan Allen to keep him on the team. And then you got Mike Williams, you got Quentin Johnston. You got work on that offensive line a little bit, and you have an okay defense. I think the Chargers are probably the best option overall-wise. Because then you have the Falcons, and then you have the Commanders. And I don't think they're going to go with any of the other... I don't think they're going with any of the other ones. Commanders interest me a little bit because their defense is good. Probably the best defense of the group is probably the Commanders. And that's what Bill Belichick is known for, is his defense. He always has great defense. He's a defensive-minded head coach. So you could make that argument. You could make the argument, again, like I said, with the Atlanta Falcons. Just because of the fact they have Bijan Robinson, they have Kyle Pitts, they have Drake London, they have Desmond Ridder, who's young. Potentially you can mold him. I think the Chargers are the most ready now to win with having Justin Herbert. Yeah, I would say, honestly, out of all the choices here, if I was him, I'd probably go to the Chargers. I think the Chargers are probably the best option. Now you have the Seahawks, too, who just fired/promoted Pete Carroll. So, my number 1 is the Chargers. My number 2 is the Seahawks. Then I would say number 3, if I'm him, I would probably go with Atlanta. Number 4, probably the Commanders. Number 5, it's going to be hard to get, the players on board, but Raiders. Number 6, I'd probably say the Titans. And number 7, probably Bryce Young. Panthers. But even though, technically speaking, and again, I'm saying this in technicality here, the best option would be to go to Carolina. Like, if you think of it longevity-wise, you have a rookie quarterback, right? You can mold him and develop him in any way you want. He's from Alabama. It's no, mystery that Nick Saban and Bill Belichick are great friends, right? So they have the same philosophy. They have the same play style. They have the same everything. So you, for example, sign Tyler Boyd this offseason and you're Carolina. You have Hayden Hurst. Maybe you draft. You don't have a first-round pick and you trade it to Chicago for, for Bryce Young. But maybe you go ahead and draft a wide receiver in the second round here. Maybe you use some money, sign a big receiver in free agency. Maybe you go out there, go crazy, try to get T. Higgins. Bring in T. Higgins. Plus, again, you already have a pretty decent offense if Bryce Young can develop. Get Bill Belichick in there, see how it can work out, and you might have yourself a superstar team in the end. The NFC South is very winnable. It's not that crazy of a division. It's very possible that Bill could go in there and take control and pretty much make the NFC South the AFC East of what it used to be. I mean, Falcons are still kind of on the edge. They lost their head coach. Desmond Ritter's not the answer, so they're not really going anywhere. The Saints look like the best team. They probably are the best team. I know the Buccaneers obviously won the division, but still, I feel like the Saints are a little bit better position personally. But the Buccaneers, they got Baker Mayfield. They're still kind of ups and downs. So I think that you put Bill in that division, and that division gets so much more difficult, especially if he can correctly target Bryce Young and put him in the correct direction to be a great quarterback. It's very possible that we could see Bill go to Carolina. That's an option. And I think all of the teams are listed again. Carolina, Tennessee, Las Vegas, Chargers, Atlanta, and Commanders, and then obviously Seahawks are all possible options. I think with Seattle, we're going to see the potential. Dan Quinn is going to leave Cowboys, and I think he's going to go back to Seattle as a head coach. I think that's probably going to happen. But other than that, I mean, any of these spots, again, Bill is a great coach. I think Bill truly is a great coach. I think that him not having Tom Brady and having Mac Jones definitely hurt him a lot. But you go ahead and give him a better option with Justin Herbert, with Geno Smith, with potentially, Desmond Ridder, Bryce Young, and I think he can develop very well. So I'll be interested to see where he goes, but if I had to pick one spot, I say the Chargers. I say 100% the Chargers, and that's going to be interesting, though, because he'll be in the same division and playing twice a year versus Patrick Mahomes. So, Patrick, you might have yourself an interesting situation. You're going to have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes in the same division. Andy Reid and Bill Belichick in the same division. That would be interesting. Peace out, guys.